Hi, my name is Mark Walsh from Integration Training. This is a short video on how emotions are embodied. So emotions are a part of life, they're part of work, they're part of being human. The normal way of looking at emotions is there's something internal. So we talk about feeling something. And the interesting thing about the word feel to me is that it's kind of got two meanings. There's this subjective interior sense of what that means, and there's also the fact that it's a body. We talk about feeling something, like we'd feel our ear being pinched or our nose running or whatever it was. So emotions are not just in our heads, they're our whole body. If I'm angry, my heart might be beating, my jaw might be tight, my abdominals tight, my fists, I might be leaning forward slightly. It's a sense of that the whole body is involved in emotions. We can even go so far, I would say, as to say emotions are embodied states. Also, intentional directions. Maybe a slightly unusual idea. Emotion is going somewhere, it's emotion. So anger, for example, going forwards, fear, going back. Yeah, there's a couple of different directions there that an emotion can go in. Viewing emotions as embodied states of intentional directions can add a lot of clarity. Maybe it's just my man brain needs some kind of a mechanized system. Certainly find this a useful way of thinking of them. And of course there is a felt experience of an emotion as well. The subjective element is absolutely critical. So I'm not, in this video, not wanting to reduce away from that. So there's lots of words for emotion, over 200 English. The Nonviolent Communication website has a big list on there. Different words, very, very subtle flavours. I always joke that my words for emotions were okay and not okay. And it was kind of tired, horny, angry, okay. And then I started adding a few others, and I'm up to at least a dozen words by now. However, despite all these different, very fine flavours, different words for different subtleties of emotion, there's really only a few variables involved from an embodied point of view, which simplifies things somewhat. So one very simple way of looking at it is some emotions occur when needs are met, and some others when needs are unmet. So the ones when needs are met, for example, happiness, tend to involve an opening of the body. So literally the muscles of the body, rather than contracting and making the body small, scared or angry, for example, they're opening, that sense of joy, that sense of happiness, for example. So one basic distinction in the body, what we can talk about somatically, is that the body is open or closed. So open or closed. You can also talk about the body being centered or unscented. This is an idea that comes from martial arts, be familiar with it from other Eastern disciplines as well. No magic to it. It literally means is the body balanced? Is it in a state of balance? So that way and that way. Or is the body off balance? Is it off center? So for example, when I get angry, I come forward, start doing this kind of thing. I'm literally off balance here now. My head isn't aligned with my hips and takes the muscles on my back to support me. Same when I'm scared. Here I'm off balance again. The vertical line is gone. This time it's the muscles on my front that are supporting me. Another one I mentioned before was the third variable, direction. Where you're moving towards or away from. Yeah, certainly. So an affection, for example, might be towards, and disappointment might be away from. Also can be up or down. So think of Tigger and Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Tigger's kind of up, he's kind of happy, excited. He's down, he's depressed. So we can look at a y-axis of energy level, towards or away from. So on the screen now you'll see this happy is up, sad is down, scared is away from, angry is towards. Someone was really in need of some very basic emotional work, that might be this place I'd start with them. It can really help actually with awareness of people, just which direction are they moving in. So those variables, they're up on the screen now. We've got open and closed. We've got another one to that, collapsed. It's just slightly different, but I put that in open and closed. Centered, off center, and a direction. So really three variables to look at. You put these together, this gives us profusion of all the other emotions that you can see there. can be like, it can be yearning, determination, it could be anger, it could be hope, depending on whether it was open or closed and whether it was centered or off-centered. Similarly with the down and away from, the diagonals as well. For example, people get stressed as well, they come forwards and up, yeah. Have a look at that. If you don't agree, that's absolutely fine. It might be that there's you language things differently. It's by no means definitive. You can think of peace or contentment as being smack in the middle. So a sense of openness and centered right in the middle of all that. And you can think of love as open and centered but expanding in all directions. The way in which love has that open, giving, generous, expansive quality. So this is my personal map. You may want to alter it. It's just a starting point. I really enjoyed looking at emotions in this way, in this physical direction, open and closed, and simplifies what is very complex. Certainly subjectively, its experience is complex, and this can add a simplicity. Explaining this to a therapist friend of mine recently, and she didn't like it because she thought it was reductionist, and she's also understood that perhaps it would be of benefit if not taken too seriously to large groups of people. Well, we had the conversation as well. Her direction was very obvious to me. Looking at through this map, it was like it was much easier for me to empathise with her, to see what was going on for her. It could also be used as a way to manage one's own emotions in that, because they live in the body in directions, it might be a matter of adding a little bit more up one day. If you're feeling a bit down, for example, if you find yourself closed and contracted, just letting yourself open a little bit. There's a lot of practices from different traditions in this light, and I think this model gives a nice clear framework. So it's just a map, but I really like it, so I hope it helps you in whatever's important to you. Thank you.